Stop what you are doing right now and lean in, because the internet just officially lost its collective mind. We all thought we knew the script for Hollywood's Golden Boy, didn't we? We thought the story ended with a graceful exit from a high-profile romance and a solitary climb to the mountaintop of cinema. But what if I told you that the man who played Creed just landed a punch that no one, and I mean no one, saw coming? Is this the ultimate betrayal of a brand? Or the most calculated romantic pivot in the history of the A-list? We are talking about secrets tucked away in the shadows of Malibu, hidden behind the tinted glass of exotic cars, and a paper trail of likes that points to a total cultural reset. Are you ready to see the mask slip off the most disciplined man in show business? Because what's happening right now isn't just a dating rumor. It's a seismic shift that is setting the digital world on fire. Why is the community divided? Why are the corny accusations returning with a vengeance? And who is the mysterious figure that has Michael B. Jordan acting like a man who finally found his missing puzzle piece, even if that piece doesn't fit the picture we painted for him? The whispers have turned into screams, and the receipts are finally being printed. Buckle up, because we are diving deep into the secret dinners, the hidden motives, and the absolute chaos of Michael's new reality. You might want to grab some water, because this tea is boiling, it's messy, and it's about to get incredibly wild. Don't blink, because the builder just started a brand new project, and the blueprint is nothing like you expected. Now it is time to peel back the layers of a situation that is far more calculated than a simple night out in Malibu. We have to start with the man of the hour himself, because Michael B. Jordan has always been the poster child for the focused and the disciplined. But when you operate at the level of an A-list titan who just secured the highest honors in the industry, your every move is a statement. For years, the public narrative around Michael was that he was the safe choice, the man who stayed away from the clubs, the man who avoided the typical traps of fame. However, the silence following his split from Lori Harvey wasn't just a period of mourning. It was a tactical reorganization of his entire public persona. We are talking about a man who has spent his entire life being told he is not quite edgy enough for the culture he comes from. That corny label wasn't just a playground insult. It was a psychological weight that followed him from the streets of New Jersey all the way to the red carpets of Cannes. And now, sources from within his inner circle are whispering that the shift we are seeing is a direct reaction to being rejected by the very standard he tried so hard to uphold. The scandal isn't just that he is dating someone new. The scandal is the absolute clinical precision with which he has exited the traditional dating pool of Black Hollywood. Insiders claim that after the situation with Lori reached a breaking point over his desire for a traditional, structured marriage, Michael made a silent vow to never be fumbled again. He didn't just go looking for a new girlfriend. He went looking for a new environment entirely. Reports are surfacing about private meetings in high-status enclaves, where the elite of the elite gather to discuss more than just movie deals. The word on the street is that Michael has been seen frequenting a series of underground, invite-only social clubs in London and Tokyo that cater to a very specific demographic of power players. This isn't just about finding love. It is about finding a partner who views his discipline as an asset rather than a lack of personality. When the news broke about him and Yen Hall being spotted at Jeffries, the location was no accident. Jeffries is where you go when you want to be seen by the right people, while pretending you are hiding from everyone else. It is the ultimate I have arrived spot for a couple that wants to signal a change in the weather. The investigative trail leads us back to the weeks leading up to the Oscars, where eyewitnesses at the rehearsals claimed Michael and Yen were inseparable in the shadows. But it goes deeper than just a few sightings. We have heard from anonymous production assistants who worked on the set of his latest project that the atmosphere was tense. There were whispers of a mysterious woman who had a security clearance higher than some of the executive producers. She wasn't there as an actress, she was there as his shadow. And that shadow has now taken the form of Yen Hall. The public reaction has been a total explosion of conflicting emotions. On one side, you have the fans who feel like Michael is finally getting the respect he deserves. They see Yen as the sophisticated, international presence that matches his new global status. But on the other side, the backlash is fierce. People are accusing him of turning his back on the community the moment he got that gold statue in his hand. They are saying that the builder isn't building for us anymore. He is building for a global elite that doesn't understand the nuances of his background. The internet is flooded with memes and think pieces questioning if a black man's success is inevitably tied to him leaving his roots behind. But Michael isn't flinching. If anything, the reports say he is more locked in than ever. He is moving with a level of cold, calculated intent that we haven't seen from him before. He is no longer the smiling, polite young man trying to please everyone. He is a man who has realized that his value is a currency, and he is choosing to spend it in a market that gives him the highest return on his investment. The leaked memos from his management team, if they are to be believed, suggest a total rebranding of his image. They want to position him as the first truly post-racial global superstar, someone who transcends the boxes that the media tries to put him in. And Yen Hall is the perfect co-star for this new narrative. She represents a bridge to a different market, a different culture, and a different kind of power. But at what cost? While he is sharing expensive drinks in Malibu, the streets that raised him are feeling a sense of abandonment. The controversy is heating up because this doesn't feel like a natural romance. It feels like a corporate merger. The timing is too perfect. The locations are too curated. The silence from his camp is too loud. We are looking at a masterclass in image manipulation, where the heart is being used as a tool for the brand. Every time he smiles at her, the stock in his global image goes up. Every time they are spotted together, a new demographic of fans starts paying attention. It is a brilliant move, but it is also a dangerous one. Because when you start playing with the emotions of a community that has supported you since day one, you risk a fallout that no Oscar can fix. The rumors of a secret engagement are already starting to circulate, with some claiming that a ring was purchased in Paris months ago. If that is true, then the move to the Malibu restaurant wasn't a first date. It was a victory lap. Michael is telling the world that he has found what he was looking for, and he doesn't care if you agree with the choice or not. But the Real investigation begins when we look at the financial ties between their respective camps. There are whispers of a joint venture, a production company that would focus on international content, effectively making them the new power couple of global media. This isn't just about who is sleeping in whose bed. It is about who is sitting at the head of the table. Michael B. Jordan is no longer just an actor. He is a mogul in the making, and he has decided that his partner needs to be a mogul too. The backlash from Black Twitter has been brutal, with some calling him the ultimate sellout, and others defending his right to be happy. But the humor in the situation isn't lost on us either. The irony of a man who was called corny for being too focused now being attacked for being too successful is peak internet logic. People wanted him to be the hero, but they wanted him to be a hero on their terms. Michael has decided to write his own script, and he is casting whoever he wants in the lead role. But as we look closer at the reports from that night in Malibu, some things don't add up. The sources say they were vibing, but other witnesses claim the conversation was strictly business. Is it possible that this entire love life debate is a massive smokescreen? Could Michael be using the media's obsession with his dating life to hide an even bigger move in the industry? The exaggeration in the headlines might be exactly what he wants. He knows that as long as we are arguing about Yen Hall, we aren't looking at the fine print of his new contracts. He is playing chess while the rest of the internet is playing checkers. But even a master chess player can lose a piece if they aren't careful. The public's trust is a fragile thing, and once it breaks, it is hard to put back together. The energy in those rooms at Jeffrey's wasn't just romantic. It was heavy. It was the weight of a man who knows he is crossing a point of no return. He is stepping into a lane that few have traveled and even fewer have survived with their reputation intact. The scandal is only just beginning to simmer, and the steam is starting to obscure the truth. We have to ask ourselves, is Michael B. Jordan the victim of a culture that didn't appreciate him, or is he the architect of a massive betrayal? The investigation into his new lifestyle reveals a pattern of luxury that borders on the excessive. Private jets to undisclosed locations, five-figure dinners, and a security detail that looks like a small army. This is the new Michael B. Jordan. He is no longer the kid from Jersey who just wanted to act. He is a king who has decided that his kingdom is global, and he is choosing his queen based on the size of the empire she brings with her. The public reaction is just background noise to a man who is listening to the sound of his own success. But as the debate rages on, the truth remains elusive. Is this love, or is it the most elaborate PR stunt of the decade? The receipts are coming in, and the picture they paint is one of a man who is tired of playing by the old rules. He has flipped the board, and now everyone is trying to figure out where the pieces landed. The fallout is going to be massive, and the consequences are going to be felt for years to follow as we transition into this next chapter of the investigative breakdown where the true nature of his corruption of the traditional Hollywood path comes to light. Moving deeper into the heart of this investigation, we have to look at the leaked reports that are currently circulating within the high-stakes world of Hollywood management. This isn't just about a dinner date, it's about a systematic overhaul of Michael B. Jordan's entire identity. According to anonymous sources embedded within his PR team, the strategy since his Oscar win has been total isolation and elevation. They want him to move away from the approachable boy-next-door image and transform into an untouchable global icon. Reports suggest that Michael has been seen in clandestine meetings with international consultants who specialize in status transition. These are the people who tell you which restaurants to be seen in, which friends to keep, and which romantic partners will increase your net worth in foreign markets. The findings indicate that his appearance with Yen Hall was a meticulously timed maneuver. Insiders claim that the leak of their location at Jeffrey's wasn't a mistake by a clumsy paparazzo, but a deliberate drop to a specific media outlet to test the waters of public opinion. This is where the corruption of the narrative becomes clear. While the public is arguing about love, the business entities behind these stars are looking at synergy. Leaked documents suggest a massive financial merger between Michael's production interests and a conglomerate with deep ties to the Asian film market. If these reports are accurate, Michael isn't just dating Yen Hall. He is building a bridge to a billion-dollar audience that has historically been difficult for American stars to crack. The spending habits associated with this new era are nothing short of staggering. We are talking about private villas in Kyoto being rented for weeks at a time just for pre-production meetings that no one seems to have any record of. We are talking about custom-made jewelry that serves as a silent signal of a union that hasn't been officially announced yet. Anonymous sources from within the jewelry district in New York claim that a specific representative for Michael was seen eyeing rare, ethically sourced stones that are usually reserved for royalty. This isn't the behavior of a man who is just vibing with a new friend. The public reactions to these findings have been a mix of absolute shock and calculated defense. The pooky energy that Michael once felt pressured to display is now being replaced by a cold boardroom-style charisma that is leaving many of his long-term fans feeling cold. Social media is currently a battlefield of receipts and theories. Some users have pointed out that Michael's social media activity has shifted from personal updates to highly curated, professional branding that lacks the warmth he used to have. They are saying that the builder is now building a wall between himself and the community that held him down when he was just a kid from Newark. The criticism isn't just about who he is dating. It's about the perceived abandonment of a shared cultural struggle. But let's look at the leaked text messages that have been surfacing on certain gossip forums. While we can't verify their authenticity with 100% certainty, the tone matches the cold, professional shift we are seeing. One message supposedly from a close associate says, "The old lane is closed. We are going global or going home." This sentiment is echoed in the way Michael has handled his recent interviews. He no longer talks about the struggle of being the only one in the room. Now he talks about global expansion, cross-cultural impact, and legacy building. The lavish spending doesn't stop at jewelry and villas. Reports are coming in of a private security firm being hired specifically to manage Yen Hall's public image and safety, paid for entirely through a shell company linked to Michael's estate. Why would an actor pay for the security of another actress unless there was a deep, long-term commitment or a massive business deal on the line? The investigation suggests that Yen Hall is being vetted by Michael's team with more intensity than a government official. They are looking into her family background, her financial history, and her past relationships to ensure that nothing can derail the power couple narrative they are trying to sell to the world. It's a level of control that borders on the obsessive. Public reaction has taken a turn toward the cynical. Some are calling this the ultimate PR stunt, designed to keep Michael's name in the headlines long after the Oscar buzz has faded. They see Yen Hall as a pawn in a larger game of Hollywood chess. However, others are pointing out the hypocrisy of the backlash. They argue that if Michael were dating a high-profile black woman with the same global reach, people would be celebrating. But because he chose Yen Hall, the sellout narrative is being weaponized against him. The controversy is fueled by the fact that Michael has always been so private. By suddenly being spotted at Jeffries, he is breaking his own rules. And when a man like Michael B. Jordan breaks his own rules, there is usually a very expensive reason for it. The exaggerated detail of their dinner, sharing specific rare wines and talking in hushed tones about the future of the empire, has become the stuff of legend on TikTok. People are analyzing their body language like they are decoding ancient scrolls. They say he was all smiles, but if you look closer at the footage, it's a practiced smile. It's the smile of a man who knows he is being watched and knows exactly what that look is worth in the headlines. It's the smile of a winner who hasn't yet realized what he had to give up to get the trophy. The corruption of his image from one of us to one of them is the real scandal here. People feel a sense of ownership over Michael because they watched him grow up on screen. Seeing him trade that intimacy for a global brand feels like a personal slap in the face to many. There are even rumors of a loyalty test that Michael put his inner circle through before the news of him and Yen Hall broke. He allegedly leaked different fake stories to different friends to see which one would end up in the blogs. The fact that the Yen Hall story is the one that stayed proves that his circle is now tighter than ever, or that he wanted this specific story to be the one that defined his new era. This is investigative journalism at its most dramatic, because we are watching a man reinvent himself in real time. The public reactions are also highlighting a deeper rift in the dating world. Men are seeing Michael as a hero who leveled up and found someone who appreciates his structure, while women are feeling that he didn't give the same grace to the women in his own community. The debate is getting loud, ugly, and incredibly personal. People are bringing up Michael's past comments on race and identity and using them as evidence against him. They are digging up old interviews from 10 years ago to prove he was always planning this. The abuse of power here, if you want to call it that, is the way he is using his massive platform to shift the conversation away from his work and toward a curated controversy. He is staying relevant by being divisive, a tactic usually reserved for reality stars, not Oscar winners. As the findings continue to pour in, the financial trail gets even murkier. There are reports of offshore accounts being used to fund lifestyle upgrades for his new circle. This isn't just Hollywood wealth. This is sovereign wealth fund level of money. Where is this money coming from? Is it really just from acting and directing? Or has Michael become a silent partner in something much bigger? The investigation into his love life has accidentally opened a door into his financial life that he probably wanted to keep locked. The anonymous sources are becoming more vocal, with some claiming that the relationship with Yen Hall was brokered by a high-end matchmaker who specializes in connecting Western stars with Eastern billionaires. It sounds like a movie script, but in 2026 it's just Tuesday in Hollywood. The public reaction to the idea of a brokered relationship has been one of pure fascination. People want to know the price tag. They want to know the terms of the contract. They want to know if there is a performance bonus for every month they stay together. Michael B. Jordan is currently the most discussed man on the planet, and he is leaning into it with a level of sarcasm and humor that we haven't seen before. His rare clapbacks on social media are becoming legendary, often dismissing critics with a single emoji or a dry comment. He knows he has the upper hand. He has the Oscar, he has the money, and he has the girl that everyone is talking about. He is moving through the world with the confidence of a man who knows his fumble days are behind him. But as the scandal breaks down even further, we start to see the cracks in the armor. Even with all the wealth and the global status, there is a sense of restlessness in his movements. He is traveling more, sleeping less, and seemingly running away from something just as much as he is running toward something. The lavish spending, the corruption of the builder brand, and the public outcry are all converging into a perfect storm of controversy. And as we move into the next phase of this fallout, the consequences are going to start hitting home in a way that no amount of Malibu dinners can fix. The world is watching, the cameras are clicking, and the truth is becoming a matter of perspective. But one thing is for sure, the Michael B. Jordan we knew is gone, and the man who replaced him is playing a game with much higher stakes than we ever imagined as we prepare for the final fallout. The fallout from these revelations is already beginning to ripple through the highest corridors of power, and the consequences for Michael B. Jordan's carefully constructed empire are looking more severe by the hour. We are no longer just talking about a celebrity dating choice. We are talking about a potential total collapse of public trust that could lead to unprecedented industry investigations. Sources within the major film guilds are whispering about a quiet probe into the funding of several of Michael's upcoming international projects. If the rumors of offshore accounts and brokered relationships are true, he might be facing more than just a PR crisis. He could be staring down a financial audit that threatens to strip him of the very mogul status he has been working so hard to secure. The public backlash has shifted from disappointed tweets to organized boycotts of his future films. Grassroots movements are popping up online, calling for a cultural accountability check on stars who use their community as a stepping stone to global elitism. This isn't just noise. It is a movement that could hit his box office numbers where it hurts the most. Industry insiders are already predicting a wave of hypothetical resignations from his production company. High-level executives who joined the Builder brand because they believed in his mission are reportedly feeling betrayed by this sudden pivot into status-chasing territory. They didn't sign up to be part of a global branding experiment. They signed up to tell authentic stories. The tension within his own team is at a breaking point. We have heard reports of heated shouting matches behind closed doors between Michael and his long-term advisors who are terrified that he is burning bridges he will need later in his career. The power couple narrative might be selling in Tokyo, but it is causing a massive structural fire in Los Angeles. Government agencies that monitor international entertainment investments are allegedly taking a closer look at the synergy deals Michael has been making. When you start dealing with billion-dollar conglomerates and sovereign-level wealth, you invite a level of scrutiny that an actor, no matter how famous, is rarely prepared for. The legal fallout could be catastrophic if any of these mergers are found to be bypassing traditional industry regulations. Michael's response to this mounting pressure has been a chilling silence, punctuated only by more sightings of him and Yen Hall in increasingly exclusive locations. This let them talk attitude is being interpreted by many as a sign of extreme arrogance. It is as if he believes his Oscar win has granted him diplomatic immunity from the very culture that created his fame. The financial crisis within his brand is also a looming threat. Major sponsors and luxury brands that once saw Michael as the ultimate safe and respectable spokesperson are now hesitating. They are worried that the sellout label will stick to their products as well, and reports indicate that several million-dollar endorsement deals are currently on hold, pending the outcome of this controversy. But the most devastating consequence might be the permanent loss of his hero status. For a generation of young men who looked up to him as the blueprint for disciplined success, this shift feels like a betrayal of the highest order. They saw him as the man who proved you could stay true to yourself and still win. Now they see him as the man who won and immediately decided he was too good for the people who helped him get there. The investigative findings suggest that a massive public apology or a damage control interview is being planned, but many critics argue it will be too little, too late. You can't unring a bell, and you certainly can't undate a global branding strategy. The public is smarter than Hollywood gives them credit for, and they can smell a manufactured romance from a mile away. The irony of the situation is that while Michael is trying to escape the corny label, he has walked straight into a villain arc. The very discipline and focus that people admired have been twisted into a cold, calculating ambition that feels soulless. He wanted to be a king, but he forgot that a king is nothing without the loyalty of his people. As we look at the potential for a total financial probe, the whispers of hidden agendas become even louder. Was the Lori Harvey situation just a dress rehearsal for this much larger play? Was he ever really looking for love? Or has everything since he stepped onto that high school stage in Newark been a calculated move toward this moment of global dominance? The fallout is not just personal, it is systemic. Other actors are now being looked at with suspicion, as the public wonders who else is planning a pivot away from their roots. Michael has inadvertently set off a chain reaction that is forcing every black star in Hollywood to defend their loyalty and their choices. The pressure is immense, and the cracks are showing everywhere. The consequences of the Malibu dinner are far-reaching. What started as a vibey night at Jeffrey's has turned into a case study in how to lose a community in 10 days. The receipts that keep leaking are painting a picture of a man who is more concerned with his cross-cultural impact than his cultural integrity. If the reports of a secret engagement are true, the backlash will likely reach a fever pitch. It would be the final confirmation that Michael B. Jordan has moved into a different world entirely, a world where tradition is traded for status, and where the builder finally finishes a project that leaves no room for the people who provided the bricks. The public reaction continues to be a mix of humor and heartbreak. Memes of Michael looking locked in with Yen Hall are being used to describe anyone who ignores their old friends the moment they get a promotion. It has become a cultural shorthand for abandonment, and that is a brand stain that no amount of PR can wash away. Looking ahead, the probes into his financial ties and the potential legal challenges regarding his international ventures will be the real test of his empire. If he can survive the audits and the lawsuits, he may indeed become the global mogul he dreams of being. But he will be a mogul in an empty castle, surrounded by people who were hired to be there, not people who chose to be there. The investigation into Michael B. Jordan's new life has revealed a level of corruption of his original values that is truly wild to witness. From the corny kid with a headshot to the sellout, king with an Oscar and a global merger, the journey has been spectacular, but the landing is looking incredibly rough. The fallout is only just beginning to settle, and the dust is thick with disappointment and anger. Every new photo of him in Yen Hall is like adding fuel to a fire that is already out of control. He is moving with a level of defiance that suggests he thinks he has already won the war. But the true battle for his legacy is only just starting. The consequences of these choices will define the next decade of his career. Will he be remembered as the man who broke the mold, or the man who broke the heart of his community? The investigation continues, the sources keep talking, and the truth remains the most expensive thing in the room, and it seems Michael B. Jordan is the only one who can afford it right now. As we conclude this breakdown of the most controversial chapter in Hollywood's recent history, we are left with more questions than answers. The mystery of the Malibu dinner, the shadow of Yen Hall, and the ghost of the Builder brand are all part of a larger narrative that is still being written. But one thing is clear: the game has changed, the players have changed, and Michael B. Jordan is never coming back to the lane we thought he belonged in. This is the ultimate fallout of a man who decided that his worth was too big for one world. He went looking for more and he found it. But in the process, he may have lost the very thing that made him Michael B. Jordan in the first place. The investigation is officially deep, the stakes are officially wild, and the world is officially waiting to see what happens when the Builder finally runs out of tools. Now that we have exposed the inner workings of this massive cultural shift, the ball is in Michael's court. But given his recent history, he will probably just take the ball, get on a private jet, and go play a different game in a different country where nobody knows his name, or at least where they don't know the man he used to be. The story is far from over, but the prologue of his new life is already a certified disaster. But now I have to turn the mirror back on you because this conversation is far from over. Is Michael B. Jordan a visionary genius who is simply outgrowing a box that was too small for him? Or is this the ultimate case of a man reaching the mountaintop and deciding he no longer speaks the language of the people who helped him climb? The evidence is on the table, the Malibu receipts are printed, and the global shift is happening in real time. But what do you think about this new power couple era? Do you believe Yen Hall is the partner who finally matches his energy? Or is this a calculated corporate merger disguised as a romance? Did Lori Harvey truly fumble the bag of the century? Or did she escape a situation that was becoming more about a brand than a heartbeat? We are seeing a complete transformation of one of our biggest stars, and the implications for the dating culture and the industry are massive. I want to see the comments section absolutely exploding. Tell me your truth, drop your theories, and don't hold back. Is the Builder still building for the community, or has he moved on to a bigger project?